Ole Miss fans need a hotel for the game weekend? Many OTAs keep all the commissions, but at Fan Plans, you still get your loyalty points, receive direct confirmation from the hotel, and you support Rebel Grove. Visit fanplans.com/Rebel Grove today.
Welcome into another edition of the Troy Brown Show, presented by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Different names, same great products, same great services. If you live in Oxford, Tupelo, the surrounding area, you need to get in touch with people at Comer, 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, or the surrounding area, get in touch with the people at Southern, 662-429-4429. Troy's going to laugh at what I'm about to say because it's like 90 degrees outside here. But it will start to cool off here a little this week. You're going to have some evenings that get in the 50s. And I know how people in the South are. They hit the panic button, like, is the heater working? Troy's laughing right now. You don't need your heater yet. But it is a sign that, hey, it'll be November before you know it, because the calendar turns to October. Then it turns to November. And then the cooler weather comes. And you don't want to wait until you do need your heater to check and see if it works. Get in touch with the people at Comer. Get in touch with the people at Southern. They'll come out and they'll check it out now. And if you have an issue, they'll have plenty of time to fix it and get it ready before the cold weather actually does arrive. But we'll get to all that and more. When Ole Miss takes the field next, the calendar will be in October. It's SEC play. Ole Miss beats Tulsa on Saturday, 35-27. And now the Rebels head into the SEC slate. It's Kentucky, the seventh-ranked Wildcats, coming to town on Saturday to face 14th-ranked Ole Miss. It's an 11 a.m. game on CBS. Not CBS, ESPN. My mind's everywhere, Troy. So we'll get it straight in a minute. So ESPN, 11 a.m. in Oxford, Ole Miss and Kentucky. Troy, how are you?
I'm great. Feeling good. How about you?
I'm good. So you played yesterday. I guess some of your family's in town. You got a chance to do some daddy-daughter stuff this morning. That's cool. Before you had to go in and lift and watch film and all that stuff. So you've had a well-rounded Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely.
All right. So I asked you a question, and I thought your answer was pretty indicative of probably the second half you guys had, probably your mindset a little bit. I said, "Hey, how many tackles did you have yesterday?" And you said, "I don't know. I missed 2. I know that." When you have a miss or two, are those the ones that keep you up at night a lot more than enjoying the ones where you brought the guy down?
Definitely, because those are the things like you don't want to see on tape, or you don't want other people to see on tape, because it gives certain thoughts or certain characteristics that you basically put out that are bad on your name. Like missed tackles, if you're having trouble making tackles, then you're known as on film as the guy that's not reliable in tackling situations. So people would like to go at you. But in my mind, I will always want somebody to go at me. But at the same time, I just don't want to be that type of guy on film. So just seeing that or doing that stuff is just it's not necessarily disappointment. It's just like one of them odd moments that you have to pay attention to a little more details, and it's a difference between making a play and missing a play.
You guys against Tulsa, you got off to a little bit of a sluggish start. You settled in, had a pretty good second quarter, and then in that third quarter, it just kind of felt like, for whatever reason, you guys couldn't kind of turn the key again. It was like the little bit of the intensity was off just a little. And you guys as a team defensively have been really good tacklers, kind of until spots in that game on Saturday. When you looked at film, was there some sort of a commonality to what went wrong?
That's just, it's direct correlation to how points get on the board. You come out, you could have went 3 and out, but you miss 2-3 tackles in the backfield. Now the play is stretched for 75 yards, and you still have your defense on the field when it could have been an easy 3 and out. So it's just small details and making the plays when you need to. I felt a lot of our guys went out in the second half and just didn't have the same mindset or intensity that we had coming out. I felt like once we got up, they thought that they were going to lay down and the game was going to be over. And with the defense not making tackles and then the offense not putting points on the board, it's a big difference from winning by 20 and winning by 8. So that's just how yesterday ended.
How much of an adjustment in game was it? Because I would suspect you guys spent most of the game, most of the week, I should say, preparing for Davis Brin and the passing attack. And he got hurt, left in the second quarter. Just couldn't go on that knee after he got it kind of twisted, getting tackled. And they come in with Braxton, the backup quarterback, who's a completely different player, right? I mean, a very athletic guy, gets around and made some plays, but a lot more of a mobile threat probably than Brin was. Was it difficult to adjust?
I wouldn't say it was difficult. We planned for both of them necessarily, but mainly on number 7, of course, with his pocket awareness and him being a great. Pass. He has a good passing offense right now. We knew that one was more of a runner. He doesn't know how to read coverage just like number 7 did. So we knew we could get some picks here and there with him if we stay true to our drops and everything. But it was more so of getting him down in the backfield. He was way more craftier than 7 was in the backfield. And I think that the D linemen and some of the blitzers didn't take heed to that information because 7 was the more of a step up in the pocket, eye still looking downfield type guy. But number 1 was a roll out of the pocket, get out on the perimeter. If a pass is open, I'm going to make the pass. If not, I'm going to make the play happen with my legs. So I felt like a lot of our rushers and guys that was going after him made the wrong approach, which was, like bad angles and stuff like that.
When do you take some solace out of the fourth quarter? There were a couple possessions where they get the ball where, they're only down 8, a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, and things are getting a little dicey. You guys didn't let that happen. You pretty much put the hammer on those 2 possessions. Does that give you a little bit of momentum kind of getting out of the week and getting into this big SEC week?
Well, yeah. I always preach to my guys that you're your best in the fourth quarter. No matter what the game is giving you, no matter if you're down 40 or if you're up 40, the fourth quarter is where you seal the game, you end the game, and you win the game. So I told my guys to go out there and just act like it's 0-0, go out here and play these last 15 minutes as hard as you can, and we'll come out with the win. But that was key for us in our mindset and our confidence. We needed stops, and we got them when we needed them. So that's what defenses do as a whole. But of course, we want to pay attention to a little more detail and have it cleaner in our minds. But we're all satisfied, I guess.
All right, let's turn our attention to Kentucky. The Wildcats headed to town. Will Levis, Craig Rodriguez is going to make his season debut. He's a very talented running back. Levis is a guy that gets first-round NFL draft talk as a quarterback. I'm sure you've had an opportunity to at least look at some film here very early in the week. What have been your impressions of the Kentucky offense?
The offense goes. I feel like the strength is the quarterback. He's a very level-headed guy, knows how to lead the team. He's been very good in the games that I've seen him in this year. So we're going up against a vet team that's not going to make that many mistakes. So it is on us as a defense to pay attention to all the little things that we can, so we can have an upside to what we're going to do against their passes and the run. So we have to pay attention to a lot of details this week.
Levis moves around in the pocket pretty well. He's got a big arm. Is it I think sometimes people underestimate his athleticism a little bit because of the arm talent that he has. Is that something you kind of have to be aware of when he's back there, that he is capable of kind of extending plays a little bit with his feet?
Definitely. I know he's not a stiff guy back there. Seeing him move, he just makes smart plays. He doesn't have to run unless he has to. Third downs, you see him threaten a little bit more with his legs. So you just have to pay attention to stuff like that and pay attention to what he likes to do when he runs. Is he a runner to throw? Is he a runner to pass? How long is his eyes downfield? or how quick does he take it off. So you just have to pay attention and when that time comes, know it and be able to make the play off of it.
You've played Kentucky before, is that right? Earlier in your career at Central Michigan?
Yes.
What do you remember about that game or about the culture of their program or any of that stuff?
They were big. They were a big talking team. That was my first SEC team that I've went against. So that week before they were making like social media tweets and stuff like that, and I've never seen that happen until then. So I'm like, okay, these guys are a big talking team, blah blah blah. And then when we got there, they backed it up, but they were talking on the field. So I like the energy and everything because I'm a talker too. So I go back and forth. We can talk all day, you know. But it was a good experience. It was something that I felt like it got me over a learning curve because I had a couple tackles in that game, but then again I missed. Like I always remember the ones I missed, and I missed one that was for a touchdown. So, I mean, I definitely don't want to lose to this team again. With it being my last time, I'm 0-1 against them right now. I like to even out the odds.
Just the air around the program, around campus, around town. It's going to intensify a lot this week. Nothing against Troy or Central Arkansas or Georgia Tech or Tulsa, but this is different with the top 10 team and SEC team coming to town. Are these sort of the games that you imagined when, you were kind of making a decision, kind of, two nationally ranked teams, national television, the game coming right out of game day, SEC Nation in town, all that stuff? I mean, it's a different air than what you've ever experienced before as a college player.
Most definitely. And I also told my guys, like, you're going to see a different monster out of me. Like, I'm treating Tuesday like it's game day. I'm treating Wednesday like it's game day. So if you're on a scout, and you're my friend, don't take it personal because I have to get better than what I showed this weekend. I mean, I wasn't necessarily disappointed in what I did, but there's also things that you see like work on this, and that's another play on your book. Work on this, that's a pick in your book. Work on this, that's a strip fumble in your book. So those are small things that you have to work on to get those accolades that you want. So I just feel like there are things that I'm going to do this weekend that are going to show up Saturday, and people are going to love it. And the energy is going to be just as you said, like suffocating. I'm ready for it.
Could you already kind of sense that not only from you but other guys in the building?
Yeah, right after the game, once that clock hit 0-0, everybody's mindset was like, we're okay. We have the win, but we know that if we had the team that's coming in next week, if we play like that, then that's a loss on our book. So we're all eager to get back in Monday and Tuesday and work better and show that, we're ready for this week.
I know you have some family in town for the Tulsa game. Who all is going to be there for Kentucky?
Everybody's going to be there. My mom, my dad, my little brothers, my son, my daughter. So I'm gonna have the whole Brown clan there ready to root me on, man.
I know when you first got to Oxford, you got really homesick. You missed family and stuff. Now that the season's getting here and that people are able to see you more and they've been able to visit, has some of that? I mean, I know you still want to see people every day and stuff, but has some of that gone away just a little bit?
Yeah. Being able to spend these days, these weekends with my kids and my family is awesome. And then right after the weekend's over, it's just like you clock in to work for 2-3 days, and then it's back on the same schedule to where you get to see your family gets to see you go out and do the thing that you love. And after the game, you get to go, enjoy that time with them and talk game with them and stuff like. And it's just experiences that you can't keep repeating. Like, there's one game for each. There's one situation for each game. So, those are the moments I like to keep like near dear to me.
I was asking Mason Brooks about this a minute ago. You've played a lot of college football. You've played night games. You've played day games. Fans get upset about the early kickoffs because they want to hang out and tailgate and all that stuff. As a player, though, do you kind of like the early kickoff? Or do you like having all day to think about it, or do you like waking up and you're going?
It's a fine line between it. in this situation, I would love it because it's just being okay. So say if you have a night game, you wake up, you do your preparations, you do this and that. It's just time that's just ticking, and you're just sitting there and all you can think about is this game. But things like morning clock games, you wake up, you eat breakfast, you do your preparations, and boom, game is there. It doesn't necessarily mean you're less prepared, but it's just that the anxiety build up into it. It's not as long. So
Right.
I do enjoy morning game stuff.
All right, let's talk about our MAC picks before we excuse ourselves for the day. We both did poorly.
Yeah,
we both went 2-4 in our picks. So you didn't pick up any ground on me. I didn't gain any ground on you. I'm 13-11 for the season. You're 11-13. So we're just treading water right now, Troy. So I cut us down to 5 games instead of 6. So maybe we can concentrate and make up some ground and not embarrass ourselves. We'll start with they're all MAC games, by the way. Northern Illinois, they head to Ball State. Northern Illinois is a 3-point favorite in Muncie. Do you have any memories of either one of those teams that sticks out in your head?
Ball State, being in Muncie, we had I believe we were down 14.5. Came back and won a game by 1. Had a game-selling pick. By far one of my favorite games, and it was a night game, so it was real cool. And then NIU, COVID year, we went there and we gave them a goose egg. But pretty much it got to the end of the game to where they scored on like the last minute. But pretty much shut them out as a defense, and I got a targeting call that game. Yeah, that's between the two.
Who do you got? Northern Illinois minus the 3 or Ball State plus the 3?
Ball State. I mean, no, NI.
All right, I'm taking them too. So we're both going to take Northern Illinois.
NIU is supposed to be.
Yeah. They're favored by 3. Yep.
Yes.
All right. Miami of Ohio and Buffalo are meeting up. Buffalo kind of playing pretty well here lately. This is a pick game. There's no. It's considered dead even. You just pick a team. Who you got? I'm going to go Buffalo. By the way.
No, I ain't going with Buffalo. They just beat Eastern though, didn't they?
I think so. Yeah.
And they just beat Eastern after coming off a bad loss. So they morale's probably high, but Miami, Ohio. They just beat Northwestern.
Did Miami beat Northwestern?
Yeah, they beat Northwestern.
Oh.
Northwestern.
That's right, because we both picked Northwestern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miami.
All right, your guys, Central Michigan, they're headed to Toledo. Central Michigan getting 7 points. Is that a rivalry game between Central Michigan and Toledo? Is that right?
Hate Toledo, man. Hate Toledo.
Why do you hate Toledo? What is it about them?
Because for a long time in the MAC, they were like the big dogs on our side of the bracket. So if you weren't going to beat them, then you weren't going to get out get out that side of the conference. And it was just a appointed period to where they won 10 games straight, like for 10 years in a row. And I was part of the group to break that. And it's just like a big middle finger to them ever since. So,
all right. So you're going Central Michigan. Just for fun's sake, I'll go with Toledo. See if I can gain a game on you for being sentimental. 2 to go. Ohio, the Bobcats getting 7.5 at Kent State.
I got Kent State.
Oh, okay. The way you said that was with such authority that
the Kent State, their offense is something very hard to mimic, and they're fast, like Ole Miss. So I would like to see Ohio stop it.
All right, last one, Bowling Green. Coming off the loss at Mississippi State, Bowling Green heads to Akron. The Falcons giving 5.5 points to the Zips. The Zips look pretty rough so far.
Both of them are. I go Bowling Green.
All right, so we're both taking Bowling Green. All right, so we're both taking Northern Illinois. You've got Miami. I've got Buffalo. You've got Central Michigan. I've got Toledo. We're both taking Kent State, both taking Bowling Green. So we've got two games where we're different to see if somebody makes up some ground or gains some ground. I know that you and I are probably the only two people in the world riveted to this competition, but it's been fun. It's made me keep up with the MAC a little bit more than usual, so it's been good. All right. Well, listen, I know you got family, so go enjoy the time you have with them. Appreciate you making time for us here at the show. I do want to tell you real quick that this show is also brought to you by BetterHelp. It can be tough to train your brain to stay in problem-solving mode when faced with a challenge in life. When you learn how to face and find your own solutions, there's no better feeling. A therapist can help you become a better problem solver, making it easier to accomplish your goals, no matter how big or small. If you're thinking of giving therapy a try, BetterHelp's a great option. It's convenient, accessible, affordable, entirely online. Get matched with a therapist after filling out a brief survey. Switch therapist anytime. When you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can help get you there. Visit betterhelp.com/MPW today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/MPW. And again, don't forget, this show is sponsored each and every week by our friends at Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Just get in touch with them if you are starting to think about making sure that your heating system in your home is ready to go and doesn't need any work. If it needs any service, now's the time to get that service so that you're ready to go when the cold weather arrives here in the next few weeks and months. So for Troy Brown, I'm Neil McCready. That does it for this edition of the Troy Brown Show. We'll be back next weekend. We'll recap Ole Miss and Kentucky and get ready for Ole Miss's trip to Nashville to face the Vanderbilt Commodores. For Troy, I'm Neil. Take care.